Hi, this is Lindsay Lamb. I really appreciate, everybody who watches the films and who's been so supportive of me. And I think that 2017 is going to be a really good year, so stay tuned. We filmed it back in April, and it's a really inspirational story about a young girl who is in a terrible accident and loses her sight, and just kind of how, when one door closes, another door opens type of deal, even though that sounds a little cliche, but, just coming together as, a family and, making the best out of a pretty awful situation. And stars Amy Smart and Burt Reynolds, and so they were a blast to work with. And yeah, it was one of the best experiences that I've had so far. My best friend directed it, and I got to spend the whole time on set with everyone, and then I was in it, so it was a lot of fun. So I think that what makes this film very different is the miniature pony element to it. There are, we did a lot of research, and I've done a lot of, reading on and working with the blind community before the film, and then also we were working at Southeastern Guide Dogs down in Bradenton, Florida. So we learned a lot, and one opportunity, I guess you could say, that some individuals have is having a seeing eye dog. And the character Bailey is, she says that she's not really a dog person, so she gets a seeing eye pony, her name is Apple of my eye, and she's, about 3 feet tall and was the most adorable thing ever. So I think that that's a little twist that, I'm definitely not spoiling anything, but a little twist that makes the story different. My mom loves telling the story. My first grade teacher kind of took her aside one day and was like, "Your daughter is different. She's kind of strange," and she said to my mom that, maybe she should think about getting me into theater so that I can kind of be around my fellow weirdos, more or less. And so I auditioned I didn't have any sort of training or anything, and I auditioned for the professional theater in my hometown when I was 10, and somehow booked the job. And yeah, I was hooked ever since then. And then I worked in theater out of kind of all over Florida, but then also Boston and New York. And I've done a little bit of theater out here, but obviously it's not a huge theater scene, not as big as I would like it to be. But yeah, so that's kind of where I was always doing plays and musical theater, and we would have, even at 10 years old, we would have 50 to 75 shows or performances of each show. So I was doing that nonstop, but it was great, and I think that it has really kind of shaped my work ethic, out here as well. I think learning to deal with rejection, that's something that even if, every single person in this industry deals with rejection. It's not, a couple people here and there. Everybody hears no a million times, and I don't think that I was really aware of that so much. But I've definitely, with time and being out here, going into an audition and doing the best that you can, and then leaving and trying not to think about it ever again. And that was really hard. When I was first out here, I just was beating myself up. Oh, I said that word wrong, and if I would have said it maybe this way, I would have gotten it. And it's no, that's not the case. They went with somebody else because they wanted somebody else, not because of the way that I said a word. So just like really going in, doing my best, and then leaving and not thinking about it ever again. And yeah, so that was an obstacle. See, obstacle. I would have not gone to the park because it's an obstacle run. But that was something that I definitely had to learn. And I think that finding kind of like a core group of people who support you and who know what you're kind of going through has been really helpful to do that. Very important. I always say that the last thing that I ever want to be is a dumb actor. I wanted to know everything that I possibly could about this industry, and I'm still learning, so I still have so much to learn. But that's why I started getting into producing and writing, just to see, how things work on the other side of the camera, and that's helped, tremendously. Being able to be in the casting process on the other side of the table, and that's definitely helped with my own auditioning. And yeah, I want to keep learning and growing, and USC was absolutely amazing. I've always been a bit of a nerd, and so college was a no-brainer for me. Like, I knew that I wanted to go to college. I was telling somebody the other day, like, some little girls grow up and they like just dream about like their wedding dress, and I was like dreaming about going to college in Los Angeles. So that was always something that was really important to me. And yeah, being able to be in the theater program at USC, I feel like that really gave me the confidence I needed to kind of be in LA and do it. I think that the role that I did the most work on was for Apple of My Eye. I was playing a Braille teacher, and I didn't know anything about Braille, and I just, wanted to do the role justice, and so I did a ton of research on that. And then also when we were filming at Southeastern Guide Dogs, the women there just really all took me under their wings and gave me tools and just tons of information. So that was probably the role that I really went into not really knowing about what my character did, I guess. Obviously there are other challenges. When I was shooting Blue Line, we were in Cromwell, Connecticut in the middle of winter and fighting snowstorms. And I was playing a cheerleader, so I was in a tiny little uniform running around outside in the middle of a snowstorm. So that comes with its own, obviously, like, set of challenges that are different than, character study development challenges, I suppose. But yeah, I think that I definitely grew and am, I hope, a stronger actor for it. When I was a little girl, Julia Roberts, I absolutely love her, and I'd watched all of her films, even I should not have been watching Pretty Woman at age 10 years old, but I was, and so I always loved Julia Roberts. There are so many, because actors and actresses, but also my parents just work so hard, and I think that I know that they are the reason that I work so hard. Even from when I was younger, I always just wanted to be, my dad is working nonstop, like I should be working nonstop, and I think that that has really made a huge influence. I love the quote that's along the lines of, you don't get the same moment in life twice. It's just, it's short and easy and to the point, but it's just, a reminder that, just go for it, that this isn't going to happen again, and so really just live in the moment and don't take anything for granted, and I like that a lot. Then I also love, I need to get better at like having this word for word because it's actually terrible that I'm about to misquote it. But it's Nietzsche, and it's those seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Kind of just a reminder to like let your freak flag fly and just, you know, live your own truth and be who you are and be proud of it, and you know, don't conform to what society says that you should be. You know, just be a good human, obviously, but, you know, be an individual. I would want to be remembered as being somebody who people could talk to about anything. I was talking to my little sister the other day, and I was like, I am like the least judgmental person. We've been through a lot, and I really like being that person for my friends and family. And you know, I'll get messages on Instagram from people who I haven't met just asking questions, and I like being that person who people feel like they can come to, and that I'm never going to be like, oh my god, you know, like, what did you do, or you said what, or, you know, whatever. So I guess just remembered as somebody who was just really present and always, you know, wanting to help and be there for people.